Warning. This is D&D. It might get sexual or violent. Keep that in mind. Viewer discretion is advised. Alright, welcome back to Everweave. And I kinda actually did a bit of homework since the last episode. I actually made some notes about not only the story so far, but also the character. Because I kind of felt like he was starting to get a bit too Gary Sue. So I had to sit down and actually flesh him out. So kind of the bulletin points, if you didn't catch them, because I kind of just flashed it briefly, is obviously is honor in life, brutality in battle. I chose this because I kind of wrote this down because he was very honorable, outside of combat, but in combat he just uses every advantage he got and just used brutality to kind of frighten his opponent. Battle smart, not book smart, because he has a 8 in intelligence, but I feel like that's primarily because he just wasn't raised in around a place with a lot of intelligence. He was probably raised in a small village where the mercenary his master settled down. And I also gave him shy because I need another flaw, and while he does have a little bit of charisma, he's not that good at it, so I figured he'd have kind of that shy boy charm. You know? Excuse me while I'm gonna mute while I'm gonna pause while I sniffle. Yeah, so far, last time we went from Elara to Oakhaven, girl named Elara, and, Theron saved them from some bandits using my healing potion I bought. And now we kind of picked up the trail on potentially more cannibals. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Let's get into it. Continue towards the farmlands. You press onward, the track gradually narrowing into a less defined path that widens between fields of ripening grain and patches of grazing land. The air grows stiller, the sounds of Oakhaven fading entirely, replaced by the chirping of unseen insects and the whisper of the wind through the tall grass. A few scattered farmhouses appear in the distance, their windows like vacant eyes, and an unsettling quiet hangs over them. No farmers work their fields, no children play in their yards. The promised eastern edge of Oakhaven's farmlands feels less like a boundary and more like a line drawn between the ordinary world and something else. Your grip tightens instinctively on the hilt of your sword, a low hum of unease beginning to settle in your gut. First of all, I have a battle axe, not a sword, but I get you. Second of all, and knock on someone's door and inquire about the notice. I knock on someone's door and inquire about the notice. You choose a farmhouse that appears a bit less desolate than the others. Its weathered wooden door shut tightly against the stillness. Raising your fist, you rap sharply against the timber, the sound echoing unnaturally loud in the quiet afternoon. After a moment of tense silence, a small, wary eye appears at a crack in the door. It slowly opens a sliver, revealing an elderly woman, her face etched with worry lines, clutching a worn shawl tightly around her shoulders. She eyes your mercenary attire with a mix of fear and curiosity. "Peace, good woman," you say, holding up the crumpled notice. "I've come about this. The disappearances, the house. Can you tell me more?" Her gaze darts nervously to the fields beyond her home before settling back on you, her voice barely a whisper. Oh, the howls and the shadows, stranger. They come from the old miller's place. Further east, near the marshes. No one goes there anymore, not since old Silas went missing. His livestock, too. It's not right what's happening out there. The mill use. Let me get correct punctuation. The woman's eyes widen slightly as you at your muttered words. A flicker of understanding passing over her features. The middle eye, she confirms, her voice hushed. As for the notice, that would be Master Elms. He's the village reeve, and Silas was a distant cousin of him. You'll find him near the central market, usually fussing over trade wagons or holding court at the boar's tusks in the evenings. He's desperate for answers and for an end to this terror. She pulls the door a little further shut, her gaze once more sweeping the silent fields. Be careful out there, strangers. Those aren't just wolves making sounds. I know, I say as I go and search for Master Elms at his usual spots. You offer the wary woman a curt nod, a grim understanding passing between you regarding the nature of the threat. I know, you affirm, your voice low and resolute. With that, you turn from the quiet farmhouse and begin retracing your steps, leaving the unnerving silence of the eastern farmlands behind. The path back to Oakhaven feels shorter this time, the urgency of your purpose propelling you forward. Soon the familiar sounds of the bustling market square greet you once more. You scan the crowds, looking for someone who might fit the description of a village reeve, perhaps a man of authority, well-dressed, or engaged in some official capacity. Your eyes drift towards the central market stalls, then to the entrance of the boar's tusk, even though it's still daytime. You need to find Master Elms to get a clear picture of the situation before heading into the potential danger at the old miller's place. Search the markets for Master Elms. This is probably going to be a roll. You plunge into the vibrant chaos of Oakhaven's central market. The air hums with the symphony of bartering, the bleating of penned sheep, and the rhythmic clang of a distant cooper. Your eyes scan the various stalls, darting past piles of vibrant fabrics, sacks of grains, and the glint of polished metalware. Amidst the flurry of activity, you spot a figure near a bustling fishmonger stall. He is a man of respectable but not ostentatious dress, with a tidy gray beard and a stern, observant gaze. Small silver badge glints on his tunic, the mark of a village reeve. He stands with an air of quiet authority, his arms crossed, as he listens intently to a nervous-looking young merchant. This must be Master Elms. You begin to make your way towards him, navigating the throng of shoppers and vendors. Master, presume I'm here about the notice. What do you have time to talk about it? You approach the man, waiting for a pause in his conversation with the nervous merchant. When he finally turns, a stern gaze falls upon you, assessing your gear and demeanor. Master Elms, I presume? You inquire, hoping up the crumpled notice from the board. I'm here about this. Do you have time to talk? The reeve's sharp eyes take in your mercenary attire and the worn cape. A flicker of relief, subtle but undeniable, crosses his face as his gaze settles on the paper in your hand. He dismisses the young merchant with a curt nod and turns his full attention to you. Indeed, I am Master Elms, he states, his voice a gravelly rumble. And yes, I always have time for someone willing to address this growing darkness. Let's step away from the hubbub of the market. He gestures towards the quieter corner of the square, away from prying ears of vendors and shopkeepers. Tell me, what have you learned so far? Last village. Last village I in had a similar problem. Turned out to be a band of cannibals. A shadow crosses Master Elm's face, star expression deepening into a grim mask as he uttered the word cannibals. He nods slowly, his gaze distant, as if recalling unpleasant memories. Aye, that would certainly explain why the livestock vanish without a trace, and why no bodies are ever found, just the empty homes. He turns back to you, his eyes hard. Old Silas's mill, you say. You say the good woman mentioned. That's where it began. The sounds, the shadows, they all emanate from there. Silas, my cousin, was a quiet man, but not one to vanish without a word. No, this isn't simply wolves. What do you intend to do, adventurer? Put them down and back at them. Track them down, dispatch of them. Dealt with them. I've dealt with them before. Probably in the woods around the mill. As Giles listened to your resolute declaration, a flicker of grim satisfaction replacing some of the worry in his eyes. That's the spirit I hope to find, he says, a heavy sigh escaping him. You speak with the weight of experience. The woods around the old mill would be their likely lair. It's a dark, tangled place, adventurer, bordering on the Blackfen marshes. Be wary. They are cunning and desperate. They are cunning and desperation makes men dangerous. Bring back word and justice, and no cave will not forget your deed. He places a heavy hand on your shoulder, a silent plea in his gaze. I nod, and ask him directions to the mill, and head off towards the mill. Master Elms quickly provides directions, pointing you eastward beyond the furthest farms towards where the forest begins to darken and grow denser, hinting at the proximity of the Blackfen marshes. Follow the old wagon track past the last homestead, he instructs. It will lead you right to Silas's property. Just be careful once you enter the tree line. The path quickly becomes overgrown. You nod in acknowledgement, a grim resolve settling over you. Leaving Master Elms to his reeve duties, you retrace your steps through the village and back out onto the eastern road. The open grasslands soon give way to a more tangled landscape. The air grows heavy and still, the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves replacing the fresh farm smells. Towering trees, their branches interlaced like skeletal fingers, begin to crowd the path, casting the way into perpetual twilight. The wagon tracks becomes less distinct, swallowed by encroaching undergrowth, and a deep, unsettling silence descends, broken only by the crunch of your boots on fallen leaves. You are now truly in the woods, on your way to the old miller's place. Alright. Nap taken, brunch eaten. Let's continue on. Continue on the path. path you follow grows steadily more treacherous, roots snaking across the ground like grasping fingers and thorny brambles snagging at your clothing. The canopy above thickens, filtering the daylight into dim, damp patches. The air grows heavy with the smell of stagnant water and decay, a scent you've come to associate with lurking danger. Off to your left, the ground begins to soften, giving way to the marshy edges of Blackfen, its dark pools reflecting the oppressive sky. Then, through a gap in the gnarled trees, you catch your first glimpse of the mill, a skeletal silhouette against the forest's gloom, its large wheel motionless and eerily silent, like a forgotten sentinel of darker age. Go to the mill and search for signs of the cannibals. Alright. Let's see if we got it. Yes, we do. You approach the silent mill with a hunter's caution, your senses stretched taut. The air around the structure is thick with a cloying, sickening scent, a foul mixture of stale blood, unwashed bodies, and something acrid and burnt, far worse than mere rot. The mill wheel, draped in moss, stands still, and the mill house itself seems to stare with empty, broken windows. Excuse me. As you circle the building, your keen eye catches faint, irregular tracks leading away from the main structure, toward a cluster of dense, thorny bushes that border the deeper, murkier parts of the marsh. Peering closer, you truly discern the disturbing sides, crudely gnawed bones, unmistakably human, lie discarded among the weeds and tall grasses, eerily similar to the grisly remnants you uncovered at the logging camp. A patch of ground near a collapsed shed shows faint scorch marks and a scattering of wood ash, suggesting a recent clandestine fire. This place is not merely abandoned, it is a lair, and its occupants are close. I follow track. I follow the tracks. Follow the faint, disturbing tracks, their irregular pattern leading you away from the eerie silence of the mill and deeper into the tangled undergrowth. The ground becomes wetter, softer as you near the Blackfen marshes. Thorny bushes tear at your cloak, and the air grows thick with the smell of decay and damp earth. The tracks, interspersed with more unsettling signs, a discarded piece of gnawed leather, a smear of something dark on a low-hanging branch, lead you to a barely discernible opening in a thicket of gnarled moss-covered trees. Beyond the screen of dense foliage, a faint flickering light suggests a hidden encampment, and a low, guttural murmur drifts on the heavy air. The scent of wood smoke mingled with that vile, sickening stench of human remains grows stronger, confirming your grim suspicions. I sneak up and scout out the camp. This one I'm kind of 50-50 on, so we'll see. Yeah, this is straight 50-50 with my dexterity modifier. And we get it. Melt into the dense undergrowth, moving with the silent grace of a hunter. Excuse me, I got a cough. Yeah, while drinking coffee, I kind of got some coffee grounds in the back of my throat, so. You melt into the dense undergrowth, moving with the silent grace of a hunter. Each step is deliberate, each rustle of the leaves a calculated whisper. The tangled branches and thick bushes provide ample cover as you creep closer, the guttural murmuring growing clearer, painting a chilling picture before you even glimpse the camp. Parting a curtain of ivory, you peer into a small, squalid clearing. 3 figures, gaunt and wild-eyed, huddled around a smoking, meager fire, gnawing on what appears to be roasted meat. Their clothes are ragged, their faces streaked with the grime of something darker, something dry and ominous. Crude weapons, rusty knives, and sharpened sticks lie haphazardly within reach. Further back, near a makeshift lean-to, you spot a fourth figure seemingly asleep or unconscious, slumped against a tree trunk. The air is thick with the stench of their own foul feast and unwashed bodies. They seem utterly absorbed in their grotesque meal, oblivious to your presence. Their low growls and snarls are only breaking the oppressive silence of the marsh. I steal their weapons and hide them in the brush. Alright, let's try this again. Oof. Well, I guess we're going straight into combat. Like I said, 50-50 on these stealth rolls. I got something stuck in my teeth. Trying to get out. As you attempt to slip further into the camp, your foot catches on a gnarled root hidden beneath a layer of damp leaves. A loud crack echoes suddenly in the sudden silence of the clearing. The three figures around the fire freeze, their heads snapping up, while the eyes wide and feral. The gnawing stops, a low guttural growl rips from the throat of the largest cannibal, and he points a grimy finger directly at your hiding spot. "Intruder!" he snarls, scrambling for the crude stone axe beside him. The other two quickly snatch their own rusty blades. The fourth figure, previously slumped by the lean-to, stirs and slowly rises, revealing a hulking silent menace, its eyes glinting with a chilling hunter. I rush up and try to cleave Bull 2 in half with my great axe. Then use my action surge to swing my axe towards Cannibal 1 head and in an attempt to decapitate him. Alright, we think we cut him in half. Critical success. Alright, so we kill Cannibal 2. Alright, we took out 2 of them. Oof, this is probably gonna hurt. Ooh, that hurt. That hurt a lot. 8 damage. Get my second wind and use my bonus. Alright. I use my bonus action to heal myself with second wind and then attack the hulking cannibal with... Oh, and then swing my axe into the hulking cannibal's head. I heal for 5 HP. Ooh, that sucks. Luckily the third cannibal misses. And the hulking cannibal misses too. Swing my axe. Diagonally to hulking cannibal's clavicle. Oh. We need to kill this hulking brute. It deals too much fucking damage. You gotta be kidding me, dude. Oh, of course he hits. Alright, it's just 1 point. It's the hulking cannibal we have to watch out for. Uh-oh. 1 point of damage? Okay. I'll take that on a crit. Swing my axe into cannibal's side. Finally, holy shit. $12 HP. Alright, let's see if we can, Ooh. I turn to cannibal and swing my axe at his temple. All right. Seven HP, that's pretty good. With the massive hulking cannibal finally brought down, you waste no time. You swiftly spun towards the last remaining foe, Cannibal 3. Its eyes wide with feral terror, your great axe still slick from previous blows, arced through the air with a deadly whistle, aimed directly at his temple. The blow landed with a brutal, decisive force, a sickening crack echoing through the marshy clearing as the weapon connected. The cannibal's head snapped back, its eyes glazing over before its crude, rusty knife clattered to the ground as its emaciated body crumpled into the mud. The grotesque facing was over. The last of these depraved creatures creature stomped by your hand. The stench of decay and stealth still hung heavy, but the immediate threat was gone, and victory was yours. I loot the bodies and the camp, and then search for more signs of cannibals. Alright, let's see if we can't find some good stuff. Take that coarse rope, that dried meat, and that'll be it. Oof. This one's gonna be rough. Yeah. The fight concluded, a grim silence descending upon the clearing, broken only by the buzzing of flies already drawn to the fresh kills. You move among the fallen cannibals, their gaunt forms now still, their monstrous hunger extinguished. You strip them of their crude weapons, bone dagger, a couple of rudimentary clubs, and find a short length of coarse rope and a few meager portions of dried, unidentifiable meat rations in their tattered pouches. I don't know which ones. Well, oh, I eat human flesh, I guess. From one particularly grimy purse, you shake out a handful of tarnished silver coins. It's a meager haul reflecting their desperate existence. With the bodies thoroughly plundered, you turn your attention to the squalid camp itself. The meager fire is now little more than smoldering ash, and the stench of their unspeakable meals still clings to the air. You begin a meticulous search, overturning ragged hides, kicking through piles of refuse, peering into dark corners of the makeshift lean-tos, seeking any further clues or evidence of more of their kind. Despite your meticulous search of the squalid camp, overturning every stained hide and shifting through the foul refuse, you find nothing more. No hidden caches, no secret passages, no further signs of other cannibals lurking nearby, or any living captives. The crude lean-tos reveal only more grim remnants of their horrific meals, piles of gnawed bones, splintered and sucked dry, and stained personal effects of their unfortunate victims. The stench of death and despair clings to the air like a shroud. The meager, bloody clearing seems to be the extent of their lair here, and now it is utterly desolate. The victory is complete, but the grimness of the task weighs heavy, reminding you of the evil that festers in this world. I return to Master Elm and inform him of my victory. The cannibals have been taken care of. Excuse me. Leaving the gruesome clearing behind, you retrace your steps through the marshy woods. The disturbing images of the cannibals in their lair burned into your mind. The journey back to Oakhaven feels longer, the weight of what you've witnessed settling heavily upon you. The dappled sunlight filtering through the canopy seems less welcoming, the sounds of the forest more somber. Eventually, the dense woods thin, giving way to the familiar farmlands, and then the bustling streets of Oakhaven. The village, which had seemed so calm earlier, now bustles with a renewed sense of life, a stark contrast to the death you've just dealt with. You find Master Elms near the market square, his stern face still etched and worried, as he oversees some unloading of goods. He spots you approaching, and his gaze sharpens, searching your expression. You meet his eyes with a firm nod, your voice low and devoid of unnecessary detail. Master Elms, you state, the matter at the mill is concluded. The howls, the disappearances, they will trouble Oakhaven no more. I await Master Elm's response. I don't know what else. They didn't tell me what the response was. Master Elm's expression, initially wary, softens into a profound mix of relief and gratitude. His shoulders visibly slump as a heavy breath escapes him. He steps forward, his stance clasped firmly on your arm, his grip strong. Done? He whispers, voice thick with emotion. You handled it? Looks over, noting the weirdness in your eyes and the grime on your gear, and a deep understanding seems to pass between you. The Nokaven knows you a dead adventurer, a significant one. Come, let's go to my office. We will speak of the details and of the reward promised on the notice. The village can rest easy tonight thanks to you. He turns, beginning to lead you away from the bustling market towards a more primitive, official-looking building. Its door marked with the same silver badge as his tunic. Enter the building. You follow Master Elms into the building, leaving the vibrant cacophony of the market behind. The door closes with a solid thud, muffling the sounds of Oakhaven and ushering you into a quiet, orderly space. The interior is functional, with heavy wooden beams supporting a low ceiling and walls of rough-hewn stone. The shelves laden with ledgers and scrolls line one side, and a sturdy oak desk dominates the center of the room. A large map of the surrounding region, dotted with small markers, hangs prominently on a wall. Master Elms gestures towards a simple wooden chair opposite his desk, his earlier urgency now replaced with a calm, almost solemn demeanor. Please have a seat, he intoned, settling into his own chair. Now tell me everything from the beginning. What exactly did you find at Silas's mill, and what horrors were truly lurking there? I fill him in on the details of the mill and the camp. You recount the grim details without flinching, the acrid smell of the mill, the discovery of human bones, the faint scorch marks, and finally the squalid camp hidden in the marsh. You describe the gaunt figures, their feral hunger, and horrifying nature of their feast, sparing no detail of the brief, brutal confrontation, and their ultimate demise. You omit the initial stealth failure, focusing on the resolution. Master Elms listens in stunned silence, his features hardening with each revelation. His hands clenched to a fist on his desk, his knuckles white. The mentions of Silas's mill being lair for such depravity seems to pain him deeply, a personal wound in his Reeve's duty. When you finish, a heavy silence hangs in the room, broken only by his ragged breathing. He slowly leans back, his gaze fixed on some unseen horror, the reality of your words painting a gruesome picture at his mind. To think, such evil festered so close to our homes, he murmurs, his voice barely audible. You have done Oakhaven a greater service than you know, adventurer, a much greater service. Tell me, do you know how close this village... Try and think of close. The last village I was in was to the marshes. Can I see if I can get this? I can. As Master Elms proceeds to process your grim reports, your mind races back to the desolate logging camp, the first place you truly encountered this depravity. You close your eyes for a moment, picturing the landscape around the former village. The dense woods that led you to the thug's hideout. A chilling clarity emerges. That area, too, bordered on wetlands, a low-lying, often misty expanse that had felt oppressive and secluded. It wasn't a full marsh like the Blackfen, but it shared that same sense of isolation and difficult terrain, perfect for concealing dark deeds. A pattern begins to form in your mind. These creatures seem drawn to much desolate, inaccessible places, using the natural cover to hide their atrocities from the watchful eyes of civilization. Next sends a shiver down your spine. This might not be an isolated incident, but a widespread, festering problem. Fear the marshlands attracted them. Fear the marshland. If fear the marshlands attracted them, may be more widespread than I thought. may need to bring this attention to this to someone higher up in the food chain. Master Elm's brow furrows deeply as you notice your chilling observation. As you voice your chilling observation, he pushes himself back from the desk, rising to pace the small office. His gaze troubled. More widespread, you say, attracted to the marshes. He stops, turning to face you, a new layer of worry etched into his face. You speak of a larger threat, then, not just a localized band of madmen. He runs a hand through his gray beard, lost in thought. Higher up, yes, Eldoria, he finally states, naming the regional capital. The Lord's Warden would need to hear of this. Such depravity, if it truly spreads like a sickness through the desolate places, cannot be ignored. Your insight is valuable, adventurer, more valuable than just a simple bounty. It paints a far graver picture. He turns to his desk, pulling a fresh scroll and a quill towards him, his mind already working on how to convey this unsettling news. I wait him to write his message. Master Elms dips his quill into an inkwell, the faint scratching sound the only thing breaking the silence. His brow furrowed in concentration as he meticulously pens the message to the Lord's Warden in Eldoria. You watch him, the flickering candlelight casting dancing shadows across the room, highlighting the lines of worry on his face. He pauses occasionally, rereading what he's written, his lips moving silently as he chooses his words carefully, weighing the gravity of your report. The air in the office is thick with the unspoken weight of the revelation, a localized horror now potentially a spreading plague. Finally, with a sigh, he presses a wax seal on the parchment, then looks up at you, his gaze weary but resolute. There, he says, holding the sealed message. This will be dispatched with the next caravan heading to Eldoria, but that is for later. For now, let us sell you your due. Says, pushing a small, heavy pouch across the desk towards you, the metallic clink of coins within it as stark contracts to the grim discussion. I take the pouch of coin and say, would you like me to go with that caravan? I forgot the question mark. Fuck. Except that you pouch, the weight of the silver coins within a tangible reminder of the grim work you've accomplished. As the metallic clink settles, you look at Master Elms. Would you like me to go with that caravan, you ask, your voice calm and steady. Master Elms considers your offer, his gaze thoughtful. A tempting proposition, adventurer, he replies slowly, tapping a finger on the sealed message. Your presence would undoubtedly ensure its safe delivery, and your testimony would carry great weight with the warden. However, Eldoria is a journey of several days, and the caravan will not depart until the morning after next. If you wish to rest and prepare, you would be most welcome to do so here in Oakhaven, but if you are ready to continue on your journey and lend your aid, your presence would be invaluable. I will wait the caravan. This needs to address. When exactly does it set off? Nods a hint of relief in expression. Excellent. The caravan will depart at first light the morning after tomorrow. That gives you a full day and tonight to rest and see to any need you might have in Oakhaven. Perhaps you might find what you were looking for at the smithy, or simply enjoy a well-deserved meal at the boar's tusk before your journey. I will ensure you are notified of the exact departure point and time. For now, you are dismissed. Do let me know if you require anything else during your stay. Thank you. I say as I leave. And I leave for the market. You offer a final curt thank you to Master Elm, the way of the silver in your pouch accompanying presents. Stepping out of the Reeve's office, the quietude gives way to the lively cacophony of Oak Haven's market. The air, once heavy with the scent of full parchment and wood smoke, now carries the distinctive aroma of baked goods, roasting meat, and fresh cut lumber. Merchants hawk their wares, their voice rising and falling in a rhythmic chant, while villagers hassle over prices. Find yourselves in the midst of vibrant tapestry of life, a stark contrast to the grim discussion you just had. Your eyes instinctively scan the stalls, perhaps seeing out the blacksmith's forge once again, or simply taking in the sights of the bustling square. How much did we decide on for the scale mail? You thought the scale mail. You had previously the sturdy protection it offered a stark contrast to your worn leather. You recall the blacksmith's gruff voice, though the exact figure momentarily escapes you. A moment later, it clicks into place. 50 gold Motherfucker, I had 50 gold pieces. Oh, wait. No, I didn't. You reach into the pouch Master Elms just handed you, feeling the cool, smooth discs of silver. 400 silver pieces, meaning 40 gold. A significant sum, certainly, and you're now much closer than before, but still, the price of the scale mail just remains out of reach. You eye the blacksmith stall again. A new fine quality short sword now adorning its display, but your focus remains on heavier armor. Perhaps there are other things he had. Or perhaps you have find a way to earn the remaining coin. I have 1,000 silver. I go and buy the over 1,000 silver total. Go and buy the armor. Alright, so it is just purely silver, and it's just gold to... Okay, I get it. I'm trying to understand how this works now. Wait, how do I have 1,000? I thought I had 200 last time. Okay, I guess the AI isn't perfect, but... Yeah, I should have like 600 or 600 silver pieces. Maybe I found some gold or something. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe I just... I was thinking. Oh, it's thinking. Probably stride toward the blacksmith stall, still reaching into your pouch to retrieve the necessary coin. Your fingers delve deep, sifting through the silver pieces you've accumulated. A quick scout reveals a stark truth. You possess far less than the 1,000 you believe. After various expensive, you find you have but 75 silver pieces remaining. Scale mail, a solid 500 silver, remains well beyond your current grasp. A slight escape of your lips as you pull your hand from the pouch. Heavy armor now seems impossibly deficient. Nah. I still have it. Equip. This was, I go to a equipment. Now I have a 16 armor class. I go to a tavern and rent a room for the night. And take a long rest because I think I am, level 3. Go to the tavern and rent a room for the night and take a long rest. Select my subclass. Renegade. I'll do champion. Accepting the reality of your meager purse, you turn back to the blacksmith's forge and make your way towards the boar's tusk. Tavern sign, a crudely painted boar's head, creaks gently in the evening breeze. Inside, the warmth of the hearth and the murmur of conversations are a welcome contrast to this market's hustle. You secure a modest room for the night, particularly with 5 silver coins, and ascend a narrow, creaking staircase to your sanctuary. The room is small but clean. A simple cot and wooden chest is its only furnishings. You unbuckle your armor, setting it aside, stretch out on the surprisingly comfortable bed. The day's grim discoveries and tense encounters slowly recede as exhaustion claims you. You drift into a deep, dreamless sleep. The quiet rhythm of the tavern bellow in a soothing lullaby, and for the first time in days, you rest truly undisturbed. That is where we will end it off. I guess I'm fighting cannibals now. Holy crap.